they run so hard. I mean, obviously got physical talent without question, but there's more to it than just that. I mean, you got to be able to connect with them, be able to motivate them and lead them. And I've sat in living rooms with him, with families and parents, and recruiting, and does a tremendous job with that. And now he's got such a resume and history of doing that, and it makes it easier to convince people to come play for you. But no, just a tremendous football coach. Know his whole family, his wife and his boys, and obviously coached all of them. So just special guy. Look forward to seeing him tomorrow as well. So got a lot of connection with Notre Dame.
How good a head coach will he be when he
he'll be a good one. He'll be a good one because he just knows, people can motivate people, can recruit, and I think he'll do a great job organizing. So yeah, when he gets his opportunity, he'll do a great job.
Has your perspective changed at all being at Penn State, because you look at the buy-in that this program has, and then look at Indiana that's mainly looked at like as a basketball school? Has this kind of changed at all for you?
Well, I just think that in today's game you gotta invest, you gotta go all into football. I mean, it's the moneymaker, it's the way you support your entire university, all your sports, and I think it looks like they're starting to figure that out, which is awesome. I said that when I left, or when I was asked to leave, and so that's what they needed to do. And I love Indiana. It's my home, and at this level, and Penn State does that. They're all in with football. And we have an amazing AD that is all in, and a fan base that's all in. And they get that you better invest at a high level in this sport. And when you do that, everybody benefits. All the other sports are able to benefit. So, but it's a commitment that some aren't willing to make. I think sometimes, you think about the traditions of Penn State, and there's a genuine love for football in this, in our whole, state. Pennsylvania, and it's been this way for a long, long time. So I think that's a big deal, and I think it's their first love, if you want to call it, and I think that matters because when you love something, you have passion for something, you invest in it, and you help it grow. And so to me, I've just been reinforced more than ever that if you want to be a national continued program, you better invest in football in every way possible, and that's what Penn State's doing. So yeah, I think that's what I've learned the most.
All right, I got to thank the coach, guys.
Media days.
Here we are again.
Yeah. All right. What you got?
I wanted to ask you about Terry Smith. You have a former offensive player who's become kind of an accomplished defensive coach. And I think there's a former offensive player on who became an accomplished defensive coach at Notre Dame as well. How do these offensive players kind of go about doing that?
I think that Terry and I have a special connection. He was a longtime high school coach, and so was I. And I just think that when you coach at that level, man, you have to. I think I've coached every position except for I think defensive line. As a coach, and I've been offensive coordinator, specialist coordinator, defensive coordinator. You do everything when you're working your way up. So I just think that when you understand the game, you understand the game. If you coach, you can coach. It doesn't really matter what side of the ball, what position. There's a connection with the players that you have to have. What he does is he's a tremendous coach that holds his guys to the standard, and they buy into that. And I tell you, he's one of those guys that very little issues with his room. Guys are where they're supposed to be, doing what they're supposed to be doing because he demands it. And when there's things aren't done a certain way, he holds them to it, and he's consistent. And I think he does a really good job of just kind of, he has a saying on the wall, basically just check your ego at the door, and that to me speaks volumes to a position. Sometimes you can have some guys with a little bit of an ego about, and you have to have that confidence, but you also have to understand your role and how you fit into that room. And so to me, like I said, I don't know that it really matters what position you play, in college to what you can coach. And sometimes guys, like Dan Connor played linebacker, coached linebacker, done a phenomenal job with that. But then you got a guy like Terry played receiver, now he's coaching corners. I do think there is some cross sides of the ball help with that because you understand what a receiver, how he's taught, how he's coached, what he's looking for. But also at the same time, I just think the bigger picture is understanding people, how to motivate them, how to hold them to high standards, and how to get the most out of them.
Tom, personally, how do you feel about being in this position? After what happened in Bloomington, I know it didn't end the way you wanted it to end, but here you are in the college football playoff, and you're facing a school from Indiana. It's kind of interesting.
How about that? Yeah, I just feel blessed and very thankful for the opportunity I've been given here. And what amazing difference a year makes, And so, but at the same time, Penn State's got a tremendous tradition, And when Coach reached out, I was obviously interested right away, and obviously played against him for 8 straight years, at Indiana, and now going back to play a team from my home state, a team that's known for football in the state that's dominated by basketball, So, but all those things combined just make for a pretty special, matchup, Penn State, Notre Dame. Growing up as a kid watching these two teams play a lot, and just be able to be in this position and to be able to lead this group of I say they're really men now. They're not young men. There's a lot of men in that room, that put themselves in position. They've created this opportunity to be able to be playing, to have a chance to go to play for a national championship, whoever wins this game. So I just feel really, really blessed and excited to be able to take the field tomorrow night.
And oddly enough, you've never been able to coach against
Never
Notre Dame
have.
at IU.
I've never coached against Notre Dame at any place I've been. So this is my first time playing against the Fighting Irish.
Tom, we had
Notre Dame finished Indiana's season. I'm curious if any former players have reached out to you asking you to, have their backs.
Well, those guys, there's no question. I had communication with the guys that I coached there, and they obviously played them, in the first round of the playoffs. And so, yeah, there's just talked with one of them yesterday, But bottom line is that when you coach the guys and you invest in them and you get to know them and you bring them into your program, you're never going to stop being a part of their lives, and that'll be forever for me. And that's how I coach, and that's how I want it to be. So, yeah, there's no question we got a chance to be able to, get it for them.
I got to get your thoughts on IU's unbelievable season. How thrilled were you to see that happen?
So happy for the players, man. Just and all those guys there came there and they got a chance to truly, see through the things that we tried to be able to start to do. So, yeah, very happy for those players, very happy for the guys in this situation.
Tom, we had Andy here a few minutes ago, and I'm paraphrasing, but he said basically every coach worries about not enjoying a run like this enough. Would you agree with that? And what are some things that you do to make sure, because obviously the work that's required is great, but at the same time you want to be able to enjoy it too.
Yeah,
So.
I don't think you probably take time to just sit back and really realize what you're accomplishing while you're doing. I think that's pretty normal, So you'll look back. What you want to do though is, when you've done this long enough. I think coaches. He made the mention of this yesterday. Brought some coaches up to the coach for. This is my 33rd year of coaching, and I've never coached, in a game of this magnitude, playing for an opportunity to be in a national championship game, for the winner. So we had other coaches, been doing this for 40 plus years. This is their first opportunity. So just to kind of let these guys know, hey, this is hard to get to this point. So don't take it for granted. Don't ever, not appreciate the moment, But yet you got to be ready to be able to be at your best. So I think there's a balance there. There's no doubt we don't have time to sit back and just, probably enjoy it the way you wish you could. But at the same time, if you play the way you want to and the way you believe you can, you got a chance to have another opportunity next week. So that's really what this is about, is making sure we put our guys in the best position to be able to play their best tomorrow night. And we believe that's going to be enough to be able to get the result that we want. So to me, we want to make sure, though, that we don't take this for granted. It's a special opportunity, and we're all blessed to be here.
Tom, when you took over, how do you feel like you got the buy-in from those guys right away? Because when Manny left, there were a bunch of guys that were pretty upset about it. Obviously, it was a very, very tight group. How do you think you got the buy-in? How did you do that?
Well, it took time, to be honest with you. And to me, it was building relationships one by one. It takes time to do that. I met with all the players initially, one-on-one. Did that multiple times just to get to know them and to really try to find out, who they are as a person. And that's just kind of who I am. That's what I believe in. And so to me, it was really about building that process with our guys. And then it was a matter of, okay, let's try and find the best way to put our guys in the best position. And with that kind of comes a little bit of maybe some growing pains of doing some things maybe a little bit different in some things, and also just trying me figuring out, hey, what is the best for our guys? And we've kind of put some things in, sometimes we modified them, sometimes we kept things the same, and we've modified some of those things. And so it kind of took some time to get to that position. But at the end of the day, I think this season had to unfold, because there has to be just that trust, that confidence that, hey, we're going to be able to continue the standard of excellence that the defense has had at Penn State in the past and expects to have every single year. And once we start playing to that level, I think it just multiplies after that. So, and then you get to know the guys. And I told him too, I said, your teams are built during the season. The ebbs and flows of the season, going on the road, having adverse situations, being behind, having guys injured, guys coming back. guys making plays, guys stepping up, guys learning to trust each other, guys learning to trust the offense, trust special teams, all those units coming together really makes for a special group. So I just think, until you do that, and once you start doing that, it just really creates, the buy-in just keeps building. And I just think right now it's at an all-time high.
When you started working with
You're blending what you did in Indiana and what you're doing now. What was the hardest thing for you to give up, maybe that you've done for a long time?
Hardest thing, we had always kind of been a big quarters type team, and really kind of started getting away from that and came here and really just didn't do it at all. And sometimes that could be a little bit more of kind of your safety net. For me, it was call-wise. And so I think kind of separating from that it's taking me some getting used to, because I would rely on that in a lot of situations, So, but at the same time, like I said, it's adapting to both your players and also what offenses are doing in today's game, So we've done that and brought some things. And so I think that's probably the biggest thing that sticks out to me.
You faced
when you started working with Coach Carter, just what maybe impressed you or exceeded your expectations, surprised you when you started building relationships?
Yeah, I would say how much he loves to compete and play. Sometimes you get guys that play at a high level, they may not love to practice. They bring it on game day, but it's every day, And I think that the other thing to me is that his ability to pick things up. I wasn't really sure, like I've said a couple of times, he came to me about wanting to play defensive end, and that sounds great, rushing the passer, get sacks, but okay, what's it look like on Tuesday and Wednesday when you're wearing knee braces and you're taking on double teams and you're trying to stop the run and you're playing in C gap and you're getting double teamed, that I wasn't sure what that was going to look like. And to me, his toughness and his embracing that has impressed me. And I wasn't sure, I knew he could rush the passer. I knew he wanted to rush the passer, but at the same time, we said, you got to earn the right to rush the passer. And you do that by getting stops on first and second down, stopping the run. So I think that sticks out to me, but the biggest thing is we can plug him in at linebacker, and he does a great job. You can put him back at defensive end, you can put him over the center, over the guard, or playing out of the box, in the box, whatever. So